Good morning. I am Theodore Roosevelt. On one occasion, the White House gang let themselves down into the awning over the portico from a second-story window. They said later it was easy because the awning was fastened against the wall close under the windowsills. It billowed like a great sail down to the pole holding the outside edge. The boys later told me it was safe enough to slide in because the heavy canvas sagged with their weight, so that once in it they could lay below the edge and would have to climb over it to fall out. The boys lay there about 15 to 18 feet above the floor of the portico and 25 feet to the ground in the biggest hammock in the world. They would watch carriages and an occasional motor car. They would watch the sightseers peeping through the fence, and beyond that to the white shaft of the Washington Monument. They could not read the books they had brought with them because of the glare of the sun on the white pages was blinding. The breeze died down, and it was hotter than before. Quentin told the boys that after all, the awning was there to keep the sun off. They were just on the wrong side of it. Quentin then said he was thirsty, and Charlie handed out some lemon drops, but they did not help much. There was no way of getting away from the sun. It was blazing hot, and the boys were dripping with perspiration and slowly turning red. Charlie told the boys he was going back through the window, but when he started to do so, the awning sagged and slipped him easily and gently back to where he had started. The boys tried to gather material in their hands, but their weight and the weight of the pole on the outside edge held the canvas taut. They were afraid to pull themselves up on the edges, for they said it looked tricky, and they thought of the drop. They all tried crawling unsuccessfully. Charlie had the idea that by standing on each other's shoulders, one of the boys could reach the windowsill and go find a rope and pull the others into the room. But Quentin made the horrible suggestion that the weight of 2 or 3 of them on the shoulders of the third might be enough to push that child off the edge. So they didn't try it. The boys just laid there and baked in the sizzling sun. Quentin told the boys, "We oughtn't to be here, you know, so we can't just yell for help. If only we could be sure of waving to someone who would keep his mouth shut." They lay there and panted and thirsted and starved and fried and thought and argued. Then they heard voices below them. They were saying how cool it was and how beautiful the view. The boys stayed perfectly still, lying on their backs, with their arms over their faces to shelter their eyes from the sun. Suddenly, the conversation below them stopped. Quentin said, "By buzzard, they've gone. By buzzard." Just then the boys heard a laugh below them, and they knew someone was pointing up to the 3 shadows and 3 bumps in the awning. The boys tried to lie more quietly. Then there were calls to the boys and laughter to which the boys did not respond. Soon, some ladies dressed in summer clothes grouped themselves in the garden to look up at the boys. Quentin immediately turned over on his bright red face to hide his embarrassment. Finally, 2 ushers let down a rope into the window and ignominiously hauled the boys in. There was no punishment given for this exploit. I believe the boys had suffered enough.